real quick, I want to know, partners never talk to each other. So this is a real quick exercise. I want everybody to, if you've ever had a conversation about SD-WAN before today, please stand up. Come on, everybody's got to participate. If you haven't, you probably shouldn't be here. Come on. All right, so if you've quoted an SD-WAN deal, remain standing. Everybody else, please sit down. Now, if you've actually installed an SD-WAN deal fully, remain standing and please sit down. Everybody else, please sit down. Now, here's the real winner. If you've actually been paid commission on an SD-WAN deal, please stay standing. Everybody else, please sit down. Take a look around the room right now. These are the people with the wounds and the war chest, and partners don't talk. They tell everybody, hey, look at how great this is. Look at how much SD-WAN I'm selling. This is a reality, guys, and it's important that we talk and connect to it. So I'm going to just run into my thing here. So my name is Eric Knight. I'm the CEO and founder of SimpleWAN. Really, at the end of the day, we just want to make sure this works. Which button is it? The big green one. All right. Elevator pitches. I hate elevator pitches. By the time the marketing department gets through it and everybody's done refining it, and you start saying it, by the fifth word, the person you're telling it to, they're already asleep. So the thing that I want everybody to come away with today is you remember that SimpleWAN is an all-in-one product designed for branch and multi-location customers. And we have a specialty and we have a fit. Some of our customers, which, unless they're yours, you don't care, but we've really done some great brands. We've got over 5,000 customers at this point. We started in 2014, so we've been at this for a little while. Partners. The partner list may look a little weird. You see VoIP providers on there, you see traditional distributors on there, and you see master agents on there, and you're like, well, what do these all have in common? The people that you're competing against are traditionally used to, first of all, SD-WAN is a hardware-software play. So your buyers are used to buying hardware from a distributor or services from a telecom or an agent. This is a new world where they're not sure who to go to. So the most educated partner that's presenting a solution to them is going to get that business moving forward. And the old models of just going to a hardware distributor or going to a telecom agent, broker, service provider, they're going to merge. We're seeing these mergers all day long. So it's important that, again, the winning partner is going to be the most educated partner. This is a very consultative sale. Again, back to the all-in-one. I was reading an article in Forbes that came out about a month ago, and the shocking part, they're talking all about SD-WAN. It was about Comcast, it was about all the providers out there, and the number one thing that they say from a value proposition that SD-WAN is going to bring is security, cybersecurity. And there's a lot of different providers out there that are providing SD-WAN that are just providing SD-WAN, and most people don't know, well, what is SD-WAN? Is SD-WAN a far-side data center IP? Is it a reliable connection device? What is it? The idea is whether it's today or tomorrow, it's going to grow into more. Today we provide things like managed Wi-Fi, remote management, the dashboard. Everybody's got a dashboard. But the key is it is a platform for delivery. And the winners are going to be able to deliver everything. So the sale becomes, you put in one box to replace 5 boxes. And that box is a service delivery center, so whatever the next thing that they need is, it's a service. It's a checkbox. So traditionally, when the new product comes out, like SD-WAN, or Frame went to MPLS, things like that, the next thing won't be a product. It won't be a rip and replace. It'll be a checkbox in a system. The most painful thing about a deployment or an SD-WAN deployment is the rip and replace. So many people are not standing because it takes forever to rip and replace and design networks and go through this entire process. So when you pick an SD-WAN provider, you better be right, because probably the next 4 or 5 solutions that you're going to be providing to them is going to be through that platform. There's not going to be a next SD-WAN. It'll be a next service that somebody's going to click a box for. So you've got to do your research, you've got to be educated, and you've got to be right, because you're going to be married to this provider for a long time. Our numbers show, we've been doing this for a while, but the average SD-WAN provider projections is they're going to be with that company for at least 7 years. That's far greater than T1s, MPLS, circuits, and things like that. So this is a long-time marriage. Some of the things that we specifically solve today and that we focus on is network downtime. That's what every SD-WAN provider says. Management frustrations. There's a huge gap out there. Everybody talks about it from a technology gap. There's a lack of educated people out there. There is nobody hiring network engineers. There are no companies saying, hey, let's go out and find a network engineer. They expect services to take care of all this. The only people hiring network engineers right now are carriers. All businesses, they want to offload that. It's an expensive payroll. It's anywhere from, I know people making anywhere from $120,000 to $180,000 a year for network engineering. And a lot of these businesses are like, why own this? This is just like the transition from voice to hosted voice. It's offloading this, paying a little bit more, offloading this expertise to somebody else. It also helps with scaling concerns. Compliance is going to be the next big thing. I talked about cybersecurity, but HIPAA and PCI, a lot of these branch-style companies that we focus on, they're worried. I mean, you just turn on the news to see what's going on, and a data breach of one store or a credit card loss of one store, it reflects on the whole brand. If Walgreens has a breach at one branch in one small town in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't matter. The corporate respect that the customer gives the entire corporation is gone. So they're thinking about these things and what's coming, and deploying hardware, the traditional sense, takes too long. It's all got to be done through services. It's all got to be done through quick deployments, live deployments. That's what SD-WAN brings us. Back to our target customers. Most of our target customers, again, you walk in, drive in, or eat into, they have no on-site IT people at all. In fact, it's difficult for them to get to. We have a lot of customers where they have to get on a plane to go see that client. They don't want to do that. They want to ship it, they want to forget about it, they want somebody else to take care of it. They're looking for more than the traditional firewall. They're wanting analytics on top of it, where traditionally they'd go to an analytics package, and they'd source another expertise, SolarWinds or all these type of software packages, and you'd have to have an expert to every single one. I really say this is a lot like Exchange. I used to live in that space. I owned an IT company back then. We made a lot of money on Exchange for simple email. You'd have to have an Active Directory person on staff. You'd have to have a server person. You'd have to have an Exchange administrator, all these things just to get an email. Look what Google and Office 365 did to the industry. Nobody wants that anymore. Very few businesses want to own that. And even the ones that live and die by that are letting go. That is what is going to happen to our space. So if you hold on to those old pieces, somebody else will bring the solution. At the end of the day, they're looking to replace the private WAN. And I cannot tell you how many people actually call us up and say, hey, I need SD-WAN for a single location. They don't have a WAN. They have an internet connection that they'd like better availability out of. SD-WAN brings so much more. And that's what everybody really needs to be focusing on, the extra value adds, the extra pieces that SD-WAN is going to allow you to be there and do for these customers. As far as conversation starters and qualifying questions, we focus on really only multi-location businesses, 2 to hundreds of locations. And again, they have no IT people on staff. They may have somebody far and away, but nobody on staff. We get a lot of, hey, I'm looking for SD-WAN. Most people don't know what it is, but they heard it. Let me tell you the one thing. We track Google and very well for this kind of stuff. People are not searching for, how do I buy SD-WAN? They're not buying, how do I find an agent? How do I buy hardware for SD-WAN? They're not searching for those things. They're looking for, what is SD-WAN? It's a marketing term. They don't understand the value of it quite yet. They're also looking to replace legacy equipment that are in a closet. We call them the dusty boxes of the world. Normally you used to have a closet full of those. Those are all going away. They're becoming one box. Again, services all throughout. They want to replace their firewall, their cybersecurity, their router. They're looking for QS. They're looking for all of this stuff in a single package. You have to identify who's in charge of managing these. I cannot stress enough on phone calls that my team gets on, and the IT person's not involved. You're used to, from a telecom perspective, maybe dropping off a circuit. It's like a pipe, and you forget about it, and somebody else handles it. It's not that way in SD-WAN. You're taking over, instructions for their LAN, for their devices, their Wi-Fi, their cybersecurity. If you do not bring their IT person or their trusted IT group in on the initial call, they will fight you every step of the way, and you will lose that deal. They will win because they are the ingrained. They work there. They live there. They hate SD-WAN. I'll be straight up with you. Why they hate it is because they think it's a threat to their job. So it's your job to make them comfortable with SD-WAN as a whole, because it actually helps them. The big thing is whether your customer knows it or not, they're IT people. They think they like complexity, but complexity is the phone call at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday night. Complexity is that you're at your daughter's recital and somebody's WAN is down, somebody's location is down. They think they like the complex because they know it and they're scared of the new stuff. But at the end of the day, they need this, they want this, but they've got to really see it. Again, tip one, you've got to identify the IT people so early in this position. If you don't, you'll go months down the line and the deal will die. This sale is so much more consultative than anything you've probably ever done before. And you've got to stay engaged, and you've got to, again, reach all the right people. We see business owners that love SD-WAN, love our dashboard, love our product, and then it goes silent because the IT person wasn't involved in the first call. It doesn't matter how much the owner loves it, he doesn't know enough. They don't know enough to buy it on their own. The other big thing is the sales cycle. This is a long sales cycle. Most of the SD-WAN deals that we see that are multi-location go anywhere from 3 to 6 months, and those are the quick ones. The bigger ones go even longer. And it's a comfort thing, and then there's the deployment time. So be aware of that when you're getting into this, but also the upside. The upside is they last forever, 7 years. Even if they hate the product, they will stick with it because it's such a pain to change into this platform as far as SD-WAN as a whole. So again, it's important that you really do your research and pick well with the provider that you choose. Some common objections that we run into, we hear a lot, I just bought a firewall. I just spent $10,000 on this per location, whatever it may look like. And then we do not commingle with MPLS. MPLS is what we believe is a dead technology. A lot of the carriers, a lot of people like holding onto that paycheck, like holding onto the big dollar items. But somebody will come along, if it's not you, and propose them a full replacement using regular broadband and things like that. If you combine a DSL or a cable and a 4G or vice versa, or mix it up however you want, it actually rolls out to like 7 nines of availability. So what's the sale of MPLS now? So there's a lot of changes, and again, back to it being very, very consultative, and you've got to involve the right people. One of our customer examples, again, we're across the board. We started on the wholesale side, so almost every VoIP provider out there uses our box. A lot of them private label it. They're doing it to manage QoS and things like that. But we do a lot of pizza franchises, and I have no idea why. But again, they fit the profile. There's no IT on site. They're 1,000 miles away, and they've got distributed enterprises everywhere. They're in need of seeing what's going on and running everything remotely. They're in dire need of these technologies because right now they're rolling a truck. So why SimpleWAN? What it comes down to is, everybody's got a dashboard, but it's the ease of using it. It's the intelligence behind it. It's the automation. It comes down to one magic box should take care of everything. All that server stuff, all that infrastructure, as they're moving into the cloud, that connection becomes saturated and so important for availability. They've got to be flexible and be able to change their stuff at will by the click of a button. So at the end of the day, we named the company SimpleWAN because of simplicity. SD-WAN is just a piece of SDN, which is software-defined networking. And the reason why that's on the uptick is simplicity. People don't want a 500-page manual to go through to learn this. People don't want to be certified on these products. They just want it to work. To wrap up, I was a huge Android user a long, long time ago, and I would tinker with it, and it would never work, and it would be broken all the time, and I would hate it, and I would miss sales calls, and I'd miss important stuff. And I grew up and realized I just needed a product to just work, and that's the Apple product for me. It just works. It always rings. The internet always works. That is what SimpleWAN is to these people. If they're looking for something to tinker with and mess around with, they're not our client. If they want it to automatically work and work 99% of the time out of the box and do the updates and do the stuff that's required to stay relevant, that's our customer. That's what we do, is we automate that entire process. So I know we got about 44 seconds left. If there's any questions, let's do it.
We have some live questions coming in. How many deployments does SimpleWAN have?
So over 5,000.
Over 5,000?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then why don't we hear about SimpleWAN in the conversation with the, in quotes, big players?
So it comes down to money. I won't name names, but there's a lot of recent sales. When you pump an industry full of $50 million of marketing dollars, that's what developed the name. We were doing SD-WAN before it was called SD-WAN. We called it VMPLS. We thought we were so creative. But then a company came along and got $50 million and invested in the market and said, hey, SD-WAN's the word. And so that's really a lot of that.
Just marketing.
It's all marketing.
So I'll ask a quick question that I wrote down. You commented on your monitoring Google, right? Which is a clever spy to have. It's what the people are saying. You're probably monitoring social as well. Instead of using our inside lingo on the outside world, which is a big thing I think we get caught up in, we think we know and we're talking in our language, what are some of the words, phrases that you're seeing and you're monitoring that can help our audience swing a door open? Maybe it's a hinge that swings a door open.
So in our industry, SD-WAN is a keyword, right? Because all that marketing dollars. But I got news for you. End customers, their IT people, they're productize this. I need managed Wi-Fi. I need a managed firewall. I'm looking for cybersecurity.
Yes.
They're not looking for SD-WAN. They have no idea what it is.
Right. It's our word, right?
Yeah, they're
It's our
looking for a
acronym.
product. And so you have to productize this, and you have to figure out what's the most important thing. And I'll wrap up on this. We were shocked. About a year and a half ago, we launched our managed Wi-Fi. We support the Ubiquity system naturally into our cloud. That is our #1 selling product. We're an SD-WAN company, but managed Wi-Fi is the lead-in for a good portion of it. Same thing, cybersecurity, HIPAA, PCI. Those lead-ins are what they're looking for, not a marketing term.
Yeah, we need to pay attention on what's going on in the world, not just our world.
Right.
All right, that's your time.
That's it. Thank you.
All right, thanks.